Hello and welcome back. So continuing on with our OBJ exporter.
Oh yeah, hey, my turn,
Hey,
right?
welcome
Yeah,
back. All
yeah,
right,
welcome
Lee.
back. Well, I was just looking at my other code, waiting for, that intro.
Whatever, you were watching videos, but
Yeah, well, that was because you were eating again.
I was so hungry.
Yeah. Are you hungry now?
No, heavens no.
I hope not. All right, what we need to do is get the mesh from our mesh filter that we're passing in this mesh string. Basically, we need to, well, the shared mesh specifically, because that's what we've mapped it to. What we're going to do is take that mesh, get its information, and start ripping it apart. Well, not so much ripping it apart, but looking at it and encoding it into string format. So we're going to need to get a string builder to do this. So we'll pick var sb equal to a new string builder. And I spelled that so great that ReSharper said, "Hey, did you want a string builder?" Oh, no, that would be in an ideal world. All right, so now string builder. Now I have a string builder. I'm going to say sb.append, and I'm going to append the letter G for a group. And to that, I'm going to append our mesh filter dot name. And to that, I'm going to append a new line. Okay, so that's the first part. Basically, we're just giving this OBJ's group name the name of our mesh filter. Next part of it, we need to encode the information for our vertices. To do that, we'll use a for each. We'll look at our mesh.vertices, and I'll just call this V. So inside of here, we'll say sb.append, and then we use string.format. We're going to use V for vertex, and 0, 1, and 2. So we normally would use v.x, v.y, and v.z. But we can't do that with Unity. Now, the reason why is for some reason the FBX importer inverts the x-axis. So if you were to leave it just like this and you were to export something out from here, and we'll demonstrate this after we get all this part wired up and working. I'll change it back, but I want to explain it right now. Is that if we were to leave these inputs, the X, Y, and Z, without inverting the V part of it, we could export this as an OBJ, run it through the FBX importer, and we would have the mirror image of our object along the x-axis. So to compensate for that, we have to invert the x of our vertices. Don't know why it does it. It just does, and I'm just warning you now because when you bring that in and you're trying to figure out why things don't look right, it took me about 2 hours to figure out what the hell was going on. So, but so after we've encoded all of our oh, hold on, I also forgot here. Basically, I want a new line at the end of each one of these lines. So basically, this is going to put an entry with V, our X position inverted, our Y position, our Z position, a new line, and at the very end, we're going to have a new line at the end of all of it, the space between our vertices and then our normals, which we're going to do next. To do our normals, it's pretty much the same as our vertices. So I'm going to copy and paste this. And switch this up to be our normals. And let's make this n instead. Switch this up to nn and n here. Now, the first part of this line for normals is going to be vn as per the spec. So that will take care of normals. Again, normals are going to be inverted just like our vertices along the x-axis, so we're going to invert these as well. And then from here, let's go ahead and duplicate this. And in this case, let's do UV. Use resharper. These are VTs. And we are only using the U and Y. Now, in this case, I don't invert the U part. And it seems to work just fine without inverting it. I haven't had any problems, so I'm going to leave it that way. And we'll get rid of the 2 here. So we have just VT, 0 and 1, and our new line characters. So this will take care of our vertices, our normals, and this should be UVs, or UV. So that will take care of that one. So we don't want to do the normals here. That would look kind of weird. All right, next step. We need a new array. So this will be int array, and I will call this triangles. And let me think about this. How do I want to do this? Just do var triangles equals mesh dot triangles. And we're going to use a for loop instead of a for each. So for I equals 0, we're going to go to triangles dot length, and instead of just incrementing by 1, we're going to increment by 3 at a time, because a triangle or a face is going to be made up of 3 points. So we're going to increment in steps of 3. Here we'll do sb.append, another string dot format, and the syntax for this is going to be f 0 / 0 / 0, and oops, I'm going to copy this, space, copy it, space, copy it again, and switch up the second set to be 1s and the third set to be 2s. And then we're going to end that off with a new line. Put comma here. And then we're going to call for triangles, element I. And I'm going to add 1 to this because this is not 0 based. So we're going to add 1 to our I value or our index. This will be triangles I plus 2, followed by need plus 1 here, so plus 1, and this will be triangles dot I plus 1, and then this will be plus 1. So that will take care of all the 0 base part of it. Now this one gets a little bit interesting. We're using I followed by I plus 2, then I plus 1. What I initially had was I, then I plus 1, then I plus 2, which is correct when you consider the way that we were defining our triangles from our train mesh builder and from our train mesh before that. But because we're inverting along the x-axis, we have to invert the winding order of our 2 points, otherwise our face normals end up pointing in the wrong direction. So we have to reverse and go from essentially what would be 0, 1, and 2 to 0, 2, and 1. And McAfee really wants to restart my computer. So that will take care of the faces. The final thing that we need to do is return our string builder, and we will convert that to a string. That will return out and give us a return here, which then will get written to a file. So build that, make sure there's no errors, and that is it for this video.
Okay.
In the next video, we have to go back to our train mesh builder and set it up so it starts writing out files, and then we can look at those files and see if they're formatted correctly and see if Unity can read them back in.
Sounds great. All right, well, with that, that is going to wrap up this video. Thanks a lot.